One day, in retrospect, the years of struggle will strike you as the most beautiful. Being entirely honest with oneself is a good exercise. We are never so defenseless against suffering as when we love. Most people do not really want freedom, because freedom involves responsibility, and most people are frightened of responsibility. Unexpressed emotions will never die. They are buried alive and will come forth later in uglier ways. Out of your vulnerabilities will come your strength. He that has eyes to see and ears to hear may convince himself that no mortal can keep a secret. If his lips are silent, he chatters with his fingertips. Betrayal oozes out of him at every pore. Religious doctrines are all illusions, they do not admit of proof, and no one can be compelled to consider them as true or to believe in them. A woman should soften but not weaken a man. In the depths of my heart I can't help being convinced that my dear fellow men, with a few exceptions, are worthless. The madman is a dreamer awake. America is the most grandiose experiment the world has seen, but, I am afraid, it is not going to be a success. The virtuous man contents himself with dreaming that which the wicked man does in actual life. The behavior of a human being in sexual matters is often a prototype for the whole of his other modes of reaction in life. Beauty has no obvious use, nor is there any clear cultural necessity for it. Yet civilization could not do without it. The intention that man should be happy is not in the plan of creation. What progress we are making. In the Middle Ages they would have burned me. Now they are content with burning my books. Love and work are the cornerstones of our humanness. The more the fruits of knowledge become accessible to men, the more widespread is the decline of religious belief. Men are more moral than they think and far more immoral than they can imagine. The creative writer does the same as the child at play. He creates a world of fantasy which he takes very seriously. A man should not strive to eliminate his complexes but to get into accord with them. They are legitimately what directs his conduct in the world. My love is something valuable to me which I ought not to throw away without reflection. Dreams are the royal road to the unconscious. Men are strong so long as they represent a strong idea, they become powerless when they oppose it. There are no mistakes. Instinct of love toward an object demands a mastery to obtain it, and if a person feels they can't control the object or feel threatened by it, they act negatively toward it. Where questions of religion are concerned, people are guilty of every possible sort of dishonesty and intellectual misdemeanor. Public self is a conditioned construct of the inner psychological self. Neurosis is the inability to tolerate ambiguity. How bold one gets when one is sure of being loved. Civilized society is perpetually menaced with disintegration through this primary hostility of men towards one another. It goes without saying that a civilization which leaves so large a number of its participants unsatisfied and drives them into revolt neither has nor deserves the prospect of a lasting existence. What is common in all these dreams is obvious. They completely satisfy wishes excited during the day which remain unrealized. They are simply and undisguisedly realizations of wishes. Conservatism, however, is too often a welcome excuse for lazy minds, loath to adapt themselves to fast-changing conditions. A religion, even if it calls itself a religion of love, must be hard and unloving to those who do not belong to it. If children could, if adults knew. I do not in the least underestimate bisexuality. I expect it to provide all further enlightenment. In matters of sexuality we are at present, every one of us, ill or well, nothing but hypocrites. When one does not have what one wants, one must want what one has. The distortion of a text resembles a murder. The difficulty is not in perpetrating the deed, but in getting rid of its traces. Human sexual life consists essentially in an endeavor to bring one's own genitals into contact with those of someone of the opposite sex. The motive forces of fantasies are unsatisfied wishes, and every single fantasy is the fulfillment of a wish, a correction of unsatisfying reality.